Hi everyone, this is Joanna. Welcome to my channel. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. We have a nursing school graduate in our family and it deserved a graduation card. And I saw this card made by Crystal Best and I thought it was just so neat. Crystal probably made the inside way nicer than I did, but that's where I saw this really neat fold, and I figured that it was easy enough for all of us to make it. So this is a very simple card. I'm just going to use my scoring tool and a cutter and some cardstock, and we're going to get this beautiful outcome. So are you guys ready? Let me show you how I made this. Okay, and we're starting off with a cardstock that is 10 by 12 inches. Now I'm going to use my cutting tool, but and they do come with scoring blades. Mine does not have a scoring blade, so I'm just going to use a bone folder. But if you do have a scoring blade, that's going to make it way easier for you. But if you have bone folder, it will perfectly work as well. So we're going to run a score line at 2.5, and once you're done with that, move it over and run it at 7.5. So 7.5 and 2.5 on the 10-inch side of the cardstock. Now make sure that you're using heavyweight cardstock because this is also the base for your card. So that's important to know. This one is 80 weight. Now we're going to turn it over, and on the 12-inch side we're going to score it at 7.5. So now on the 12-inch side it's 7.5. Now after we're done with that, we're going to move it over just a little bit and line it up with 5.5 mark. Okay, and now we're going to do two little score lines. Now we're not going to score along the whole entire thing. We're just gonna go and run a score line to the first line. You see that? And then you're going to go to the bottom and you're going to do exactly the same thing at the bottom. Now I had a hard time placing my bone folder in there, so I actually run it from the bottom to the top. It doesn't matter, just as long as you have those two score lines there. So now take a look at your card, and we're going to cut out those two pieces completely. Now you can cut them out with your scissors if if you're good with that, but if you want to use your cutter, it's very easy to use the cutter, and you see that little arrow there? It will cut only as far as the arrow points to it. So I basically run the cutting line to the that diagonal line at the bottom, and I make sure that that little arrow on my cutting blade is lined up with that line, and that's how I get a perfect cut. Now it's time to cut the short ends of our little pieces, and we're going to do exactly the same thing. And when you get to the bottom, you can kind of wiggle it and they should come out. And in this case, you can see I'm wiggling it and it's still not letting go. See that? So you're just gonna go and move it just a tiny bit, and then it comes out, and there you have your shape. And it's very simple. Now you can just take a bone folder and make all those beautiful creases, and we're going to move on to making the hat part. And the upper flap is going to be the hat, and I cut off one end, and in order to make sure that the other end was exactly the same, I just used it as the guide to cut it off, and there you have it. Now we are going to do some more scoring here, and I want you guys to really pay attention where I score, because it's really hard to explain. You kind of have to see it, but you can see that I'm running the line where I'm running the line. So you have this crisscross, and again you're going to take that bone folder and you want to make sure that all those creases are nice and sharp, and there you have it. And this is your card. I told you guys it's not very difficult, and I think that would be kind of fun to make them for place settings. So it's entirely up to you what you want to do to the inside. I'm just going very simple. I'm grabbing 4 3/4 by 4 3/4 blue piece of paper and 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 of white. And that's going to be the inside. Now for the gown, I'm going to use 5 1/2 by 2 1/4 blue and 5 1/4 by 1 3/4 white. And when you cut them on diagonal, this is what you get, and you just put these together and you add it to your card, and there is the gown. Ta-ta! You know, nursing school graduation is such a huge achievement. I was just very happy to be able to make this card and to personalize it with the colors. And that's the thing that it's an amazing thing about making cards, is that you can make them the way you want them. And like in my example, you could totally personalize them with the colors and make them just so much more special. Now, when you're going to be putting the inside together, you can stamp the greeting there. I actually used some stamped die cuts, so I had something, I had those on hand already. And I also added some, I die cutted the year 2023. There you go, in gold. But also if you have stickers, that's going to work. So for the top, for the outside of our hat, I just punched out a little circle in gold, and I'm going to use a foam tape that I wanted to stick out a little bit. And also the tassel, I got it from a Dollar Tree. It came with one of the little gifts that I was getting, and I decided that I'm just going to use the tassel on my hat. So there you have it. I'm just adding a little bit of glue for extra support. Then the tassel goes down, the foam, and then the top. And there you have it. Believe it or not, this card is done. Well, let me tell you that this is going to be my absolute go-to graduation card. It is very simple. You can totally mass produce it if you want to make graduation announcements. And I'm thinking that maybe if you make it in a miniature form, you could make like a little place cards for the table as well, for graduation table, if you have some kind of an event. I think that would be so darn cute. Anyways, I had so much fun making this card. I hope some of you guys will reach out to your craft room and make one. This is a graduation time, so hopefully someone will make it. It's just a fun project. And to our sweet graduate, we are so proud of you and we love you so much. And I was just so happy making this card for you. With that being said, my friends, till next time. Ta-ta!